So I finished reading A Road to Love. Rhode spelled Rhode by Manda. I can't read it backwards. Mazanec. I don't know. Mazanec. Sorry, I know I'm saying it wrong. I'm sorry. And this is book 2 in the Wayfinder series. So this is, I believe there's 8 total books in this series, and each author is writing a different book, but they are all centered around a road trip and love. So in this book in particular, you have Violet as the main female character. She is a hospice nurse. Her latest patient has passed on. There is some issues surrounding it, and she isn't quite sure what to do next while that all gets figured out. She doesn't really want to be involved in it being figured out because she's done her job and she's done it quite well as she's documented everything. So she decides to go on this road trip that her now ex-boyfriend had booked for them originally. But he's not going on it anymore. And that's kind of an issue because it is a road trip specifically for couples. So initially they weren't going to let her go, and then someone kind of spoke up for her and she gets to go now. So that person who spoke up for her is named Jay. Jay is an author, and they have actually met before and had a night together before she ended up waking up and running. Now, I will also say Violet has traveled a lot in the past, but now she is very hesitant to do anything because it's something she used to do with her aunt, who has now also passed on. So there is a lot of grief that she is dealing with in this book. So just be aware of that. And then he also is dealing with some grief as well, because that's kind of how they ended up meeting. Kind of partially that, partially just crazy circumstances. So he is trying to write. He wrote this like wonderful book that she brought along and is reading, but he hasn't really been able to write a lot since in the same way. So he's kind of been going on these trips to try to deal with his writer's block, but she inspires him. So, and it's kind of funny because he like goes on these trips, but he doesn't join in. But because of her, he starts joining in to get her to join in. She's got a lot of, I want to say social anxiety, because she doesn't really want to join in. No, maybe it's not. It's more of just like her doing something without her great aunt without her aunt that she knows her aunt would have loved to do. It's more of that. So, as I said, a lot of grief that she's going through, and she runs a lot because she doesn't have great examples of loving relationships. So, overall, I did enjoy this book. I think I'm not going to spoil the ending, but I'm going to talk about the ending for a second. So if you don't want to listen to me talk about the ending, scroll away. So in the ending, it was interesting because she has this moment where she starts working through it, through a conversation with another character, and then it flips to his perspective, and it's like a month later. And I just think it would have been nice to have a little bit more of her working through her grief. I think it would have been more helpful, because it was just kind of, then she had this conversation and then it changed to his perspective, and then it was just like, that's already the last chapter, and then you get the epilogues. So I don't felt like it was completely as fleshed out as it probably could have been. But that's just, again, my personal opinion. Other people might have had something different. So, but overall, I did enjoy this. I'm very interested to see how these books are going to continue through the road trips. We do get a little bit of a hint in the books about, like, with the maps of kind of where certain books are going on their road trips. I will say it is in black and white and gray, so I don't know if it actually says, like, and has colors of who goes where, but I do say that is kind of cool. So I am very interested to see how this continues. I know I have at least 2 more this month, and then hopefully the other 4 will be in September. But yeah, magical reading.